Dear students, today we will discuss about fermentation products. India, being a huge country, has been the home of innumerable religious orders of human population, and diversity in climatic conditions has resulted in a large number of fermented foods. Most of these remain majorly secretive in their preparation, being passed on from generation to generation, and tend to be regionalized, with many of them being made only on the home scale by using backslopping. Fermented foods have diverseness of traditions and cultural preferences found in the different geographical areas where they are produced. They have been consumed since ancient times due to their prolonged shelf life, reduced volume, shorter cooking times, and superior nutritive values as compared to the non-fermented ingredients. Fermentation processes are considered as developed in order to preserve food. Fermentation is a slow decomposition reaction of organic substances accelerated by microorganisms or enzymes that essentially convert complex substances into simpler ones, as carbohydrates to alcohols or organic acids. Fermented products are prepared by controlled fermentation to produce acidity and flavor to a desirable level. Fermentation enhances digestibility, flavor, and aroma of food and exerts health promoting benefits through biological enrichment of food substrates with protein, essential amino acids, essential fatty acids, and vitamins. It may also assist in the destruction or detoxification of certain undesirable compounds which may be present in raw foods. In many cases, production methods of different traditional fermented foods were unknown and passed down to subsequent generations as family tradition, as in fermented milk products. They are prepared by using backslopping. The old method of food preservation is commonly as drying and salting. There are different fermented products in India such as idli, dosa, dokla, bhatura, misti doi, kadhi, etc. For preparation of fermented products, starter culture is required. Starter culture is selected according to desirable microorganisms that are intentionally added to the base material to initiate and accomplish the desired fermentation in fermented products under controlled conditions. Lactic acid fermentation of foods as milk, vegetables, and fruits is a common practice to preserve and improve the nutritional and sensory features of food. Most of lactic acid bacteria were isolated from various traditional naturally fermented foods and observed as lactic acid bacteria are the predominant microflora of fermented products. Indian traditional fermented foods are generally fermented by lactic acid bacteria such as Lactococcus species, Lactobacillus plantarum, Lactobacillus pentosus, Lactobacillus brevis, Lactobacillus fermentum, etc. And they are considered as the probiotic source from these foods. Availability of certain specific nutrients such as vitamins, minerals, and carbon source, and also acidic nature of fruits and vegetables provides a growth medium for fermentation by lactic acid bacteria. Probiotics are the live microorganism which is administered in adequate amount. It will give health benefits to the consumer such as Lactobacillus plantarum, Lactobacillus casei, Lactobacillus acidophilus, and Streptococcus lactis, which are supplemented by food that beneficially affect the host by improving its intestinal balance. Several studies have shown that supplementation of probiotics to food provides several health benefits such as reduction of serum cholesterol, improved gastrointestinal function, enhanced immune system, and low risk of colon cancer. Lactic acid bacteria are important for the dairy industry, especially in fermented milk processing, because they increase food safety through the release of lactic acid and bacteriocins, produce aromas and flavor, and accelerate the maturation process of cheese via their proteolytic and lipolytic activities, bring about desirable food textures via release of polysaccharides that increase the viscosity and firmness, and reduce susceptibility to syneresis. They may also be used to deliver polyunsaturated fatty acids and vitamins, leading to dairy products with increased nutritional value. Fermented foods. Fermented foods are foods that have been through a process of lactic fermentation in which natural bacteria feed on the sugar and starch in the food, creating lactic acid. Fermentation preserves the food and produces beneficial enzymes, B vitamins, omega-3 fatty acids, and various strains of probiotics. Natural fermentation of foods has also been shown to preserve nutrients in food and break down the food to a more digestible form. Benefits of fermented food. It preserves food. Fermentation increases the shelf life of food, which preserves it by using lactic acid, alcohol, and acetic acid. It adds good microbes to the gut. People get good bacteria to modulate the digestive system and proper digestion. It increases micronutrients. Lactic acid bacteria can increase levels of vitamins in food, especially B vitamins. It makes food more digestible. Food contains many anti-nutritive factors that are not digested by people, so these lactic acid bacteria are useful to them, as the lactose in milk is broken down into simple sugars, glucose and galactose. Some people having problems of lactose intolerance, they can easily consume fermented milk products. Also, many microbes produce enzymes that break down cellulose in plant foods, which humans can't digest into sugars. Change in taste. It can make food pleasantly sour or tangy and develops flavor. Eliminates anti-nutrients. Anti-nutrients are the natural or synthetic compounds that interfere with the absorption of nutrients, which can be destroyed by fermentation. For example, phytic acid, which is found in legumes and seeds. It binds minerals such as iron and zinc, reducing their absorption when eaten. However, phytic acid can be broken down during fermentation, so the minerals become available. Decreases cooking times. Foods that are tough, difficult to digest or unpalatable can be improved by fermentation and reducing the need for cooking. It produces carbon dioxide. Fermentive yeast and heterofermentative bacteria produce carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide can be used for leavening bread and carbonating drinks. Classification of fermented foods. Fermented foods are classified on the basis of substrate used. Fermented milk products, fermented cereal legume products, fermented cereal products, fermented vegetables and fruits, fermented meat and fish products, miscellaneous foods. Following are the different fermented products available traditionally in Indian subcontinent. Fermented milk products. Dahi. Traditionally, dahi is a naturally fermented milk product obtained from boiled cow or buffalo milk and soured using lactic cultures as Lactococcus lactis species, Cremoris and Lactococcus diastylactis is used separately or in combination. It is used in daily diet as a potential source of B complex vitamins, folic acid and riboflavin. Dahi is rich in lactic acid bacteria and demonstrates the probiotic effect, which helps in intestinal health. Lactic acid bacteria produce bioactive compounds such as diacetyl, hydrogen peroxide and deuterin, suppresses the normal growth of undesirable flora, especially E. coli, Bacillus subtilis and Staphylococcus aureus. Rabdi. Rabdi is a famous dairy product prepared in the northwest part of India. It is a lactic acid fermented milk product with pearl millet. Pearl millet has a lower glycemic index as compared to other cereals, which is helpful in managing non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. where primary cause is associated with an interruption in carbohydrate metabolism. Shrikhand. Shrikhand is sweetened dewatered dahi. It's very popular in western and some parts of southern India. It's prepared mainly by cow milk or buffalo milk. It has a distinctive rich flavor and fairly long shelf life. To prepare Shrikhand, dahi is suspended in a muslin cloth until all the free water has drained off. The semi-solid mass is then whisked with sugar through a fine cloth, colored and scented with saffron or rose water, and flavored with cardamom if desired. To further extend the shelf life of Shrikhand, a preparation known as Shrikhand Vadi, which is essentially a desiccated Shrikhand, is made. The dewatered dahi is mixed with an equal amount of sugar by weight and dried in an open pan at low heat. When the mass begins to harden, it is tested for stickiness. The non-sticky product is flavored and colored. Powdered sugar is further added as desired. The product is mixed, rolled, cut into shapes and packed like biscuits. Lassi. Lassi is a traditional fermented milk beverage consumed in summer season for refreshment and is prepared from dahi. It is prepared by blending dahi with water, sugar, salt and spices such as cumin seeds and coriander leaves. The presence of spices decreases thirst. Lassi is a probiotic product due to the presence of Lactococcus acidophilus as active cultures. Based on the use of ingredients in lassi, it is classified as salty lassi or sweet lassi. Buttermilk. Buttermilk is the liquid that is left over when butter is churned out of cream or dahi. Consumed with or without added salt and spices, it has less fat content and fewer calories compared with regular milk or dahi. Buttermilk is as rich as source of calcium and protein as like milk. In some states of India, it is also known as chhach. It is easier to digest with the presence of live cultures, helps intestinal health. Buttermilk is consumed with meals and is advised in the Ayurveda. Milk cereal based fermented foods, kadi, churpa, churpi and nudu. In Himachal Pradesh, traditional milk based products are prepared from the milk of several species of indigenous cattle, buffalo, sheep, goats and churu, that is a hybrid of cow and yak. Kadi is prepared by simmering a mixture of chhach or buttermilk, besan, gram flour and spices. Buttermilk is boiled, then water is discarded and solids are dried hard, which later used to prepare soups called churpa or churpi, and the predominant microflora is Lactobacillus plantarum, Lactobacillus curvatus, Lactobacillus fermentum, Lactobacillus paracassi subspecies, Pseudoplantarum and Leuconostoc mesenteroids. Nudu is a ceremonial food prepared by cooking wheat flour in milk with a small amount of salt and is eaten with ghee. Fermented cereal, legume and legume products. Idli. It's a fermented product prepared from milled rice and dehulled black gram batter by steam cooking. Idli is a white colored, small, round and spongy product. Black gram is the primary ingredient having natural fermentation microflora and acts as the substrate for the fermentation of batter. Sour buttermilk is also used as source of starter. Dehulled black gram and milled rice are used in the ratio of 1:2 for batter preparation. Fermentation of idli batter improves the nutrition and protein efficiency value. Leavening is the main objective of fermentation in idli preparation. The major microorganisms involved in the leavening process are heterofermentative lactic acid bacterium, Lactobacillus mesenteroids and homofermentative lactic acid bacteria. Streptococcus faecalis regulates the acidity of batter. Additionally to these, probiotic microorganisms such as Lactobacillus plantarum, Lactobacillus lactis are also present in idli batter. These produce vitamin B12 and galactosidase enzyme which promotes health. Idli is used as breakfast food in all the seasons. Due to the fermentation process, idli is more digestible. Dosa. Dosa is a fermented dish like idli, but the batter is thinner, mainly found in the South Indian region. It contains milled rice and dehulled black gram as primary ingredients. To improve the nutritional quality of dosa, finger millet and horse gram can be used as primary ingredients. After fermentation, the leavened dosa batter is baked on hot pan as a thin crisp pancake and consumed with chutney and sambar. The batter is in form of suspension. It is prepared by grinding wet rice and black gram separately with water. These two suspensions are then mixed and allowed to undergo natural fermentation, usually for 8 to 20 hours. For preparation of dosa, the fermented suspension is spread in a thin layer of 1 to 5 mm thickness on a flat heated plate, which is smeared with a little oil and give heating to it. Within a few minutes, a circular semi-soft to crisp product resembling a pancake is ready for consumption. Ambali. It is a finger millet based fermented semi-liquid product of South India. It is prepared by mixing of finger millet flour with water to make thick batter and followed by cooking and fermentation. The fermentation process decreases the leucine to lysine ratio from 3.6 to 4.1 and increases in concentration of thiamine, that is vitamin B1, riboflavin, that is vitamin B3, and tryptophan and bioavailability of minerals. Leucine to lysine is an indicator of pellagra-genic character of a protein. The dominant microorganisms responsible for the fermentation of finger millet are leuconostoc mesenteroids, Lactobacillus fermentum, and Streptococcus faecalis. Ambali contains high amount of calcium and low resistance starch because it is prepared from finger millet. Dokla. Dokla is an indigenous fermented food product found mainly in Gujarat and Maharashtra state. It is prepared by fermentation of Bengal gram and rice. The method of preparation is the same as idli, but it is steamed openly rather than covered as is done in idli preparation. During fermentation, lactic acid bacteria contribute to sour taste due to increase in the acidity of the product and improves the flavor. Starter culture used as yeast since it produces folic acid and helps in making sponginess in food by increasing the batter volume. The antioxidant property of fermented batter is high. Intake of free fatty acid and hyperglycemia condition in diabetic patient causes an increase in oxidative stress. The antioxidant property of dokla helps in curing age-related diseases and oxidative stress induced degenerative diseases. So, dokla can be a good food item in diet of diabetic patients and also others. Cereal and pulse based fermented foods, boturu, marchu and chilra. These are leavened breads or rotis constituting the staple diet of rural people in Himachal Pradesh. These are prepared by using wheat, barley, buckwheat wheat flour as substrate and inoculum malera and tre respectively, which is rich in lactic acid bacteria as Lactobacillus plantarum, Lactobacillus acidophilus, Leuconostoc, Bacillus species, Lactococcus lactis, Saccharomyces cerevisiae and Lactococcus lactis. The fermented dough of boturu and chilra are baked on hot plates while marchu is deep fried in mustard oil. Boturu is a staple diet of rural people and is taken in both meals with vegetables and curries. Marchu is prepared during festivals, religious and marriage ceremonies and is served with tea. Chilra is a favorite snack of the tribe served with coriander chutney, potato and mutton soup. Kinema. It is a soybean based fermented food and consumed in eastern Himalayan regions of Darjeeling Hills and Sikkim. It's a good and cheap source of protein. It is alkaline, fermented, ammonia flavored food prepared from soybeans. For preparation, soybean seeds are soaked overnight and then cracked slightly in mortar and pestle. Grits are placed in a bamboo basket lined with locally grown fresh fern fronds, covered with a jute bag, and left to ferment naturally at ambient temperatures for 2 to 3 days above an earthen kitchen oven. The microflora of kinema is Bacillus subtilis, Enterococcus faecium, Candida parapsilosis, and Geotrichum candidum. The products of fermented soybean is salted, deep fat fried, and consumed as soup along with rice and vegetables. Trumbai. It is a traditional fermented food product prepared from soybean seeds used in Meghalaya. For preparation of it, the soybean seeds are cleaned, washed, and soaked in double quantity of water for about 4 to 6 hours. Outer skin is removed and then cooked in the same water till all water is absorbed. The incubation time is usually 3 to 4 days and the fermented product is obtained as a brown mass with a characteristic odor. The microflora of Trumbai is Bacillus subtilis and Enterococcus faecium and Geotrichum candidum. It is a popular fermented soybean based sticky food which serves as a cheap source of high protein food in local diet. Hawai jar. It is an alkaline fermented soybean product consumed daily as a source of protein in Manipur. It consists of soluble proteins ranging from 26% to 27%. It's non-salted and has a characteristic flavor and stickiness. The microorganism mainly involved in the fermentation of this product is Bacillus species. For preparation of Hawai jar, bamboo baskets, banana leaves or healthy fig leaves are used, which helps in fermentation and results in better quality of product. Since Hawai jar is rich in proteins, it is recommended for adults and children older than 10 years. Jalebi. It is a sweetened fermented product prepared by use of maida, refined wheat flour, dahi and water. The fermented batter is deep fat fried in oil in spiral shapes and immersed. Conclusion. The large diversity in traditional fermented foods of India is because of the regional health foods has evolved according to the climate, culture and cropping practices of a particular region. These fermented products have various benefits as processing, production and health. Moreover, certain foods have become more popular in certain regions according to the health conditions of a population, such as lactose intolerance leads to a popularization of lactose-free dairy sweets. Some traditional fermented foods are not explored geographically. Hence, the study of these fermented products requires the formulation of the product with a defined microflora. That was all for today. Hope you found this lecture informative and interesting. Thanks.